That's amazing. I think a few of y'all would have gotten intimidated. a few of y'all would have gotten inspired. But try to just stay on the latter side, be inspired, because I think this happened last time as well. Don't worry when you hear research internship. Just be inspired by it, and know that diversifying your portfolio will be helpful for you. And soon we'll hear from him how he got there as well. So part what we usually do is we get started with a couple of questions that have already come to us through the Google form. And then as we speak, any new questions that come along on the chat box, we'll take up. But in your case, I'm just a little interested, if you're okay to speak about this. Could you tell the applicants a little bit about that research internship, like how you had landed it, what was the internship about, and how did that help in terms of your written application, if that's okay?
Yeah, sure. So during my MPH, there was a summer break, almost 10 weeks. So in that time, we had to we had to finish one internship related to any public health related topic. So I was looking for it, and I was emailing all the universities, not just in Pennsylvania, but all over the US. Those have dental programs. So I was just blindly emailing every professors, like just going to their website, checking their email list, and based on the professor's research interest, I would just email them that, hey, I am dentist from India right now doing an MPH from this university, and I like your research interest, the current work that you are doing here, and I would like to, I was wondering if I can work as a research assistant or something like that during that 10 weeks period. So plus one good thing was that I after coming to Drexel, I knew how to use different data analysis softwares and all, so I was mentioning everything. So luckily, one of the professors at Penn Dental, like even in Penn Dental, I emailed almost 40-50 professors, but one of the professors responded, and actually he also needed some help regarding data analysis of his literature review project. So he responded, we had a meeting, and finally he said yes. And the project was all about like mapping the genetic and racial distribution of amyloblastoma. And we are trying to figure out its association with BRAF1 tumor. It's BRAF1 genetic mutation. So I helped with data analysis, and basically I was running that systemic meta-analysis project in the end. And he was so impressed by my work that even after I finished my in 10 weeks internship, he was like, now we want to publish this paper. And so I extended that part, and then in the end, he was so good, great. He was so generous enough that he gave me a first authorship for that paper, and it was finally published. So that really helped me, and that I mentioned everywhere. I would say I mentioned strategically in my application, not in my SOP, but I mentioned it in my CAAPID application experience section. And plus, I also took a letter of recommendation from that professor. But as we all know that most of the universities need 3 letter of recommendation. One should come from our dean. Second should come dean of our dental program back in India or wherever you have attended. Second should be from your dental school faculty. And third should be from your US from the US dentist, whoever you shadowed. So I couldn't upload it in CAAPID, but I just took it from him, and most of the universities has those supplemental document section. So I uploaded that letter of recommendations everywhere, and that really helped me. And for all the 8 interview invites, I just appeared in 5, and almost every school asked me about those research, and every professor who was interviewing me asked me about that research experience.
It's amazing. I think we also answered a few questions already on the form through this. Number 1, what is a regular letter of recommendation combination? Dr. Parth has already answered that. Number 2, if you have any extra letters, what do you do? He's answered that as well. You go to the supplemental application and upload a PDF. When you have something as significant as a letter like this, you can feel free to do that. But if you have something which is not going to add too much value, you think, then I would recommend don't do it. But with something as bold as this, then please do upload it. And the third thing that I wrote down myself, and like Meenakshi and I would use when we coach people in the future as well, is this 40 to 50 people that you said, Parth, that you email,
Sorry?
which is very, the 40 to 50 professors that
Yeah.
you email, right? This is very important, guys. Everyone
That's in UPenn.
asks.
He
Yes,
said
just
40 to
UPenn.
50 only in UPenn.
Exactly. People call us and ask, how do you land a research like opportunity? And we tell them this because we know from Dr. Nourah and a lot of other people. And I know it sounds very abstract, so they say, are you sure that's the only way? But see, you've heard it from someone who's made it, who's gotten 8 invites. That is the only way to do it. So please email people, email universities, walk in and find out what is your best chance. And that should be helpful for you to get started. Okay, Dr. Parth, someone has asked a very UPenn question, which I'm going to bring to you first. Why did you want to join UPenn?
Okay. So for one reason, one of the reasons was that it was, first of all, it was Ivy League, very prestigious, and I was living in Philadelphia since last 2 years, so I did not want to move outside. Plus, in my long term, I would like to practice in Northeast only, so I wouldn't even appear for other West Coast universities invite who came after my acceptance to the Penn. And second thing is that Penn is like an ocean of opportunity. Like if you have some sort of passion, and even if you have some new research interest, they will provide every opportunity to you. Plus, another reason is that the focus on digital dentistry and aesthetic dentistry. They have an amazing virtual treatment planning center, digital dentistry, plus Dr. Blatz and Dr. Julio. I don't know if everybody, like most of the people would know him. So they are at Penn, so they are at very senior role. And I knew that going to this school, I would become more, it would be very easy for me to reach out to them. And so it is now. I am experiencing that it is very easy to reach out to them if I want to work on any research project, or I just want to shadow them. So, and my long-term goal was to do something in aesthetic dentistry. So that's why I chose Penn.
Okay, awesome. I hope you guys have noted that, because if any of you are applying 24, these are points that you can use to show them why you want to join. I don't mean blindly use them, but this could be a source for you to start researching. And he's also mentioned a few names and a few specific like professors and projects. But also there's a question that says, are there any differentiating factors that UPenn looks for? After being in the school for a while, do you think that there's something that is very specific that could make them look at your profile better, more than
Penn,
a good GPA?
one thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got cut in between in the end.
I mean, I'm saying we've all heard that Penn likes a good GPA, especially being an Ivy League school. I'm not saying they want a good GPA, but they do look out for a good one. But anything else that you can tell us as a current student?
Yeah. So for Penn, I feel that number one thing that matters the most is, and they even have mentioned it in on their website, that they focus more on your hands-on experience in US or Canada. So if you have more number of hours, please mention it in your supplemental application and even in your like supplemental answers. So they love people who have more experience. Not they like your home country experience would be also be helpful, but they focus more on your US or Canadian dental experience. So when I applied, I almost had 1600 hours of US experience. So that I mentioned. And when I see my class, right now we have a class of 35. So I like for Indian, I'm the youngest one in my class, but there are others who are way more experienced. And if I have to just make an assumption, then that their clinical experience in either US or Canada would be 3,000 hours, 4,000 hours. So that's the thing they like. Second thing, they like research. Because Penn is highly focused on research and academic side of dentistry too. So if you have any sort of research experience, be it back home, be it US or anywhere, just make sure that you highlight them. Those two are very important for them. And plus, I feel that if you are in Northeast or Canada, Penn Dental like those applicants.
You mean visa, is it?
Sorry?
What was the
Location.
last part? Location. So you mean a
Location.
residential visa in
Regarding
Canada or
visa,
US?
yeah, because there are a lot of Canadians in my class. Plus,
Okay.
regarding visa, I would like to say that as I mentioned earlier, that they like people who have more number of US or Canadian experience. So
Yeah.
technically, it wouldn't be possible for any like visitor visa student to have those huge numbers of those many hours of experience. So, but yeah, they accept all the visa status. Even in our class, we have F1 visas, H1 dependents, J2 J1 dependents, and of course, there are so many people candidate with green card and citizenship, either US or Canadian.
Okay. Awesome. That
I
brings me
just
to
have a
my
question.
next.
Sorry. I just have a
Go ahead.
question about what Dr. Parth just said. So when you say hands-on experience, what do you mean? You mean clinical
Clinical experience,
with
not
patients?
just shadowing experience, working as a dental
Okay.
assistant or something,
Okay, working as a dental assistant. Okay.
where
Okay.
you are
Got it.
actually
Thanks.
working as an assistant, like taking radiographs or taking impressions or any assistant related work. Shadowing is
Okay, yeah.
not enough, I would say.
Okay. Thank you.
Were you a dental assistant as well?
Yeah,
Did you get the
yeah,
chance to do that?
yeah.
In which state? For everyone's
Pennsylvania
reference.
only. So for
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, it is like you do not need any sort of license or any sort of certification to work as an assistant. So you can, even if you are like high school grade, even if you are going to the high school, then you can work as an assistant. You do not need
Okay.
to go for any sort of clinical training to work as an assistant.
This is another pit stop for everyone listening that I would want to say, because I remember when we talk to applicants, I'm quite often surprised a lot of people don't know their state's requirements for dental assistantship, which I think is a big red flag for you as an applicant. That should be one of the first things you find out, because a lot of states don't have any requirements, while some do. Yes, of course, but some really don't, and some of them are very simple ones, like or simpler ones, like getting a BLS certification, or something like that, or attending a 10 hours of class. So that, like he said, elevating your shadowing status into an assisting, even if unpaid, right,
Yeah.
will make a big difference in your
Yeah,
application.
just one thing I would like to touch base on this. Like for Pennsylvania, you do not need any licensure, but just to take an X-ray, there is an online exam that you have to clear. And after that, that's a very simple and easy exam. And if you have cleared your BDS or DMD degree back home, then it would be very easy to clear that exam. It's just an online exam, and after that, you can take radiographs and work as a full-fledged dental assistant too.
And I'm glad to hear that. I wouldn't want anyone without a qualification to take my X-ray. So
Yeah.
there's an exam for that. Okay. Before we move on to, a couple of people have raised their hands. There's one more question that aligns with what you were talking about, Parth, which is there are questions about the demographics in your class. You mentioned a few things, but if you want to like sort of explore that a little bit and tell us more about what are the different like ethnicities or visa statuses, age group of your classmates, that would be inspiring for people.
Yeah, sure. So I do not know the exact like numbers or proportions, but whatever I will be presenting, it would be just a guesstimate, but I hope it's true. And yeah, it will be true. So majority of first thing, as I mentioned, that all of them had many numbers of US or Canadian dental experience. Second thing, we have Indians, Indian nationals, or at least like those, maybe their citizenship or something, but yeah, Indian nationality or Indian ethnicity were the majority. We have class of 35, but I guess we have almost 10 to 12 Indians. Then second ones are Canadians, and then we have Middle Easterns, Europeans, couple of, and then South Americans too. And regarding age, I would say Penn Dental like has an impression that most of their average age is 30 for the DMD class. But I guess since this year only, and since I guess maybe last year, they started accepting young candidates too. Like I'm 26, and but still they accepted me. And in my batch, there are almost 3 to 4 people who are in their late 20s, or it can be more too. I'm not that accurate, but yeah, this is the trend that they have shifted and started accepting young candidates too.
So you see lesser of older candidates, like people experienced.
No,
like,
they are still in the majority. But for Penn Dental, it was like that. Their average class age was 30 or 31 previously. But since
Okay,
last
got it.
couple of years, I feel that they changed it,
They've
and
also shifted
they
to
are
younger.
also started accepting
Okay.
younger candidates too. And I guess in general, I feel that all over the US in all the schools, they have started accepting younger candidates more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Just a word of disclaimer for everyone here. This is just an estimate, like Parth said, and 1 year's demographic is not statistics enough for you to assume and worry that your age group is not going to get accepted or is not going to stand a chance. It's just a rough representation, just for you to know that all kinds of groups. Because I remember that the fact that UPenn does not accept fresh graduates has been a myth for a while, but this is probably something that could break that, because 26 is fairly fresh, right? Because which means you've just finished your BDS and probably got a couple of years. So if there's anyone of you that was thinking that, then this could break that bubble for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I would like
Yeah.
to just stretch it a little bit. That yeah, it was a myth. Like myth was not about like whether you being young or fresh candidate, but as I said, that they focus more on how many number of hours you have of US or Canadian experience a candidate has, and probably any young candidate would not, or any fresh graduate
that
would not have that experience. That's the only reason.
Makes
It
sense.
was
That's a source of the age.
misinterpreted. Yep.
Okay, thanks for that, Parth. Okay, now we'll move on to the 3 participants who've raised their hands. Dr. Mustafa, you may unmute and ask Dr. Parth your question. Are you here? Yes.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, Dr. Patel.
Hello.
Hello, did you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I think Dr. Parth is
Yeah,
frozen.
is
Okay.
it disconnected or?
Just a quick second. Dr. Parth, can you hear us? Yes, he's back.
No, yeah, my network was
Yeah, it's broken, yeah.
but now I can hear you guys. Yep.
Hi, good
Okay,
evening,
yes.
Dr. Patel. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi, I'm Mustafa. I'm from Canada.
Mhm.
I'm a Canadian citizen, but my bachelor degree is from Iraq.
Mhm.
And I have experience here in Canada doing a research assistant as you. But my point is, I think all of us main point is about GPA. Honestly, my GPA is not too good and not too bad, but this is my main questions. Is GPA is the main points make a difference in the interview or acceptance in the in any dental school?
Yes, definitely. I guess for like if your GPA is below 3, then I would that you should show other skills in your application, because and sorry, I just want to ask you one question. Was your question about specifically about Penn Dental or just in general for any university?
No, general.
In general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
many of applicants, my friends, before they applied, they do volunteer, shadowing, as you mentioned, research assistant,
Yeah.
many other criteria just to improve their CVs. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say that GPA is very important. At least it's not very important, but if you have something below 3, then you should show other skills and your other interests, like your leadership skills, your whatever volunteering you are doing, how you are improving your profile, your research experience, your continuing dental education. Those are the aspects that you should focus on. If your GPA is very low, But GPA is very important because it is like one of the few objective factors that any admission committees can use, because they are receiving almost on an average, I would say 12 to 1500 applications every year. So GPA, your TOEFL score, those are the really easy factor to consider so that they can filter out a lot of applications. So because other things are very subjective, but your scores are objective, and that's easy to filter out for admissions committee. So they would definitely like candidates who have higher GPA and higher scores.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Just Mustafa, just make sure that, like he said, do other things like how you're doing your research assisting or internship. Similarly, try to do academic things, or where you can score is another way, is another tactic, like an ADAT exam, or go for a 1-year fellowship. I know it's not for everyone. Fellowship is one extreme and ADAT is one extreme, but those could be options for you, because in those cases you study well, you score a good score, and they can see that you're improving. What has happened in your past is what has happened in your past, and that's fine. But what is important is to keep dialing up, right? So try to find out something where you can perform and show them that you've improved and done better.
Yeah, that's very important. Like your GPA can affect due to any reasons, like any emergency comes up and you cannot even appear in the exam, or anything can happen. But other exams, like even your INBD, though we don't get the scores, but schools get our scores. So you can do well in INBD. You can take ADAX and ADAT and score really good. And maybe if you are doing any master's program, any other program, then you can focus on that and make sure that you have good GPA.
Yeah, but I have my friend, like his GPA is very low, like 1.9. He doing 1-year dental assistant. He doing well in TOEFL. He did, I think, instruction in Florida, in University of Florida. He's doing many other jobs like volunteering, other stuff, and then he accepted now in Loma Linda.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that inspiring tale. I hope everyone heard that. So see, there's no closed door. Just have to keep pushing it and do different things about it. Thanks, Dr. Mustafa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Question, you gave some hope as well. Thank you. Dr. Aishwarya, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah. So my question is about research. If I need to apply as a research assistant, does it require me to be present physically in the research lab, or can I do it virtually?
It totally depends on what kind of research project that professor is working on and what is his requirements. Because I know a couple of students or applicants, even in my accepted program, and even those who are not accepted in Penn, but they did work with one of the professors at Penn. So it totally depends on the professor and kind of research project. If they need you in the wet lab, doing different tests, assessing the reports or counting cells from the microscopes and your slides and anything, then yes, you will need to be present. Otherwise, if you are working on any other, if you are helping in them sorting out the research papers, manuscript writing, data analysis, then you can do it on the professor. Like what are their requirements?
So do I need to ask them what they require and then choose accordingly, or how does that work? Should I just ask them?
Initially, I would say the best strategy would be when you are emailing, just make one common format that you can use everywhere by just changing the name of the professor and a little bit about research. And initially, I would say just do not mention anything. Just say that I found your work on this interesting, and I was wondering if I can contribute it to, or if I can volunteer to this research project. And if you have certain skills that can be really helpful, then please mention like data analysis, your manuscript writing, doing literature searches in different databases or anything, then just mention it and then just wait for them to respond. If they respond or they really like it, then they will just, or if they really need it, then they will get back to you. And at that time, you just mention that I'm in different state or I can do remotely or something. But initially, just do not mention anything about your location preference or anything.
Okay, thanks. Got it.
Thank you, Dr. Ashwarya. Next, we have Dr. Mano. Hi, Mano.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Dr. Parth, for doing this webinar. So I had a quick question about you. You mentioned MPH, and I'm sorry I lost you in the transition. Did you finish your MPH and then do become a dental assistant? Like, how did you?
So after my MPH, I was working full time as an assistant, but before that, I was working as a volunteer dental assistant during my MPH. Almost,
Okay.
I used to take 10 to 12 hours every week so that I can work in any of the dental clinics.
Okay, that helps. And did they ask any question about that? Like after MPH, did you want to do any role that was related to your master's, or like why are you doing dental assistantship? Did they have any questions about that?
Yeah, luckily when I had all the interviews, those were during my graduation. Like I graduated in June, so I had all the interviews during May to June. So I was just saying them I'm just about to graduate, and if they would ask me, then I would just say that I'm applying for different roles in oral public health.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned a couple of Pennsylvania-based oral health organizations. Even if I just told them that this is the organizations I'm trying to get into. So they were even more impressed that, okay, after public health, he wants to do something for oral health in Pennsylvania. Or
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though I didn't get any job organizations, but still I mentioned that this is something I'm interested in, and uh, I'm in talk with those guys, and we'll see if there will be any position I would like to work as a oral public health specialist or something in any role.
Well, you got into UPenn, so I guess that's all that matters. So thank you.
Yeah. But it's a good question, like how to link your MPH with dentistry after you graduate. Are you doing any MPH right now?
I am a MHA graduate, and I have been working in healthcare quality for 6 years now, and I'm getting back into this. Like I wanted to do dentistry because I did a few dental projects in my hospital and was kind of itching to wear the white coat again and get back into this journey.
Mhm.
So I have asked a few seniors, and I think it's interesting to know each person's journey of how you connect your masters to the dental like school again. So
Yeah.
it's good to know that.
So luckily during my phase, I was in kind of transition phase, and I was just about to graduate from that program. So all I was saying that I'm still figuring out, I'm looking for opportunities, but I'm open for anything. But in many interviews they asked like why you did MPH. So for that my answer was like before, I knew that eventually I want to do clinical dentistry here in the US, but before starting that, I wanted a good overview of public health in US, like what is the basic health structure, what are the current issues that they are facing, and for that I found this program amazing. Plus, I also knew that coming from different country and directly start working as an directly start seeing patients would be difficult. So this 2 years transition phase would really help me to connect with people of different backgrounds and cultures. So eventually, when I join any dental school, I will be more prepared. So that's why I just took this course. That was my basic explanation. But in your case, if they ask, if you get any interview invitation and if you get asked, or even if you want to show somehow in your application, then you can somehow mention that all your oral health related projects. And even if you are, maybe your reality could be different, but at least you can show that at this point, I'm looking forward to work as a clinical manager or any roles in this kind of oral health organization. So that would show that you eventually want to shift your gears towards dentistry or oral health.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes sense. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Manu. But just to clarify what you said, you mentioned that you are graduating from MPH the year you gave your interviews, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, a common question that comes up is this: can we reveal that we're doing a certain course in your application or interview if you're matriculating from that course that year? I think this is testament to say that you can and you should, because as long as you're available to join DDS or DMD right after when they matriculate, then they don't really mind. They like that you're studying, they like that you're doing something, and to hide that from your application is not wise. Firstly, don't hide it. Secondly, also they will learn so much about your skills and what kind of experience you get. So that is something else to, I think, note from this. Moving on to Dr. Snigdha. Hi, Snigdha.
Hey, hi Flynn. Hello, Dr.
Yes, go
Parth.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Congratulations. Firstly, I would like to congratulate for you for getting into UPenn. That's
Thank
really amazing and it's inspiring. So the first question I had is like, I was a part of a research, but it's not yet published. So is it still okay to mention that I have contributed to a research project, but it's not yet published?
Yeah, definitely. You should mention it. Even in your experience section, you can mention your designation, maybe research volunteer or volunteer research assistant or research specialist or whatever it is, and mention everything. Yeah, you do not need to mention that it's published or not. But if in interview they ask that why this work, I would say they would definitely never ask that why this work was not published, because even the professor who is going to be interviewing you, even they will have so many work like that is not published, or even they will have faced a lot of failures. But yeah, you should definitely mention that. That's
Yeah.
not whether your paper is published or not. You can still mention it.
Okay. So like I was able to give a poster presentation on the research day with regards to the same topic, but it's not published. So it's okay to mention about the poster presentation too.
Yeah. You can mention all your poster presentations. Yep, definitely.
Okay. And also the other question I had is like I have my master's in health informatics from Indiana University. So like I kind of have experience in health informatics, and also I was able to work in like IUSD for nearly 8 months. So is it okay to mention about my health informatics experience in the resume, and how long is the like what is the length of the resume in general for applications?
Oh, in general, your CV for my not more than 4 pages. So that's the length that I followed. And I would say if it's too long, then it gets like, because every school, they will get almost 1,200 to 1,500 applications. Even if you have done more things, but just be strategic in presenting that and somehow try to finish your CV in 4 pages. And
Okay.
what was your question about your health informatics course, that whether you should mention it in your resume or not?
I have experience related to health informatics. Like I have done my internship in a pharmaceutical company, but at the same time, I was able to acquire some dental experience in US too. So, like, is it okay to mention, like the work experiences related to health informatics as well as dentistry, or just highlight the dental experience in the resume?
Um, yeah, there is no harm in mentioning that experience. Yeah, definitely you can mention, but just make sure that mentioning that experience should not compromise your dental related experience. So let's say if you have, during the same timeline, if you have nice shadowing experience, so I would say focus, let's say if you are giving 10 lines to that experience, then you should not give 15 lines to your health informatics experience. at least you should finish it within 4 to 5 lines, and you should give more space to your dental related experience.
Okay. And also, can we mention about like poster presentations or paper presentations that we have given in our home country, or is it all just about the US?
No. You can mention your home country experiences. Even I mentioned almost 3 to 4 poster presentation related experiences in my CV.
Okay. Thank you. And one last question, like I think UPenn has bench test. So like how long did you practice for that bench test?
UPenn doesn't have any bench test. It is
Okay,
purely
okay,
interview. But
okay.
I did practice for other bench tests. In fact, I cleared University of Alabama's bench test and got
Oh, okay.
acceptance too.
Oh,
But
awesome.
I did not attend any bench test courses because of my because I was just about to graduate from MPH program and I was working on my thesis, so I did not have enough time. But I had everything. I had everything like regarding bench setup at my home, and
Mm-hmm.
I started almost preparing from April
Oh,
for my
okay.
thesis. So I did not wait for any interview invitation to. But I was just watching a couple of videos from Stevenson's, and there is a good material available online, and then I was just practicing.
Oh, so you were just practicing it all by yourself, because we tend to practice it at home, but like it's good to have feedback, right? Like whether you're doing that
Definitely.
prep, whether you're doing it in a right way or wrong
Right,
way. It
right.
might seem correct to us, but it would be great if we had somebody who could give us feedback. So I just wanted to know if you had
Mhm.
anyone
For that,
who.
yeah, I had 2 close friends who are already in the dental school, and I had many seniors. So I used to do the cavity preparations or crowns, and then used to send pictures to them, and then we would evaluate everything critically on the Zoom call or on the normal call. Yeah, it's
Okay.
without having those mentors, you cannot do anything.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
there should be somebody who can evaluate your work. Then you are good to practice at home on your own. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that person should be in a US dental school or should be graduated from the US based dental school, so they will evaluate better.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Parth.
Thank you. Dr. Ambika, you can go next.
Hi, Dr. Parth. Thank you for your insights first. It's always good to listen somebody who is already in the process. So thank you so much.
No problem.
I have like 2 questions, won't take much time, but it kind of piggybacking on like what Manu's question was, Dr. Manu's. So I'm also have like public health background, and during pandemic, I did work in like corporate field for some time, applying my public health, and then made my transition back to dentistry. So sometimes it's for now, like I'm doing my application work, it's becoming little challenging for me because I know how committed I am to dentistry and how things played in my life where I had to work for public health for a couple of years. But just to show that on my application with enough commitment, are there any, do you have any tips? Because I know, like you said, you were finishing your MPH and you were already in the process of DDS, but I do have some years in between, like year or two, where I was off dentistry.
Okay, like what you are doing right now, working as
So
a
from last 6 months, I quit my job and I decided to come back to dentistry, and I've been working as a full-time dental assistant, and I'm trying to do multiple things so that it shows my commitment from my side. But I'm just like little, like I'm thinking loud here, like how should I show that transition
that.
that I'm trying
And
to
how
do?
many years have you worked in public
Two,
health?
two.
2 years. And when did you graduate from your public health program?
It was 2020, towards the end of 2020, and then I worked for 2
End
years.
of 2020, and then you almost worked in. And what was your role in your public health? Like, what was your designation?
So I was health promotion specialist. So basically, I was designing health programs for the employee population, taking care of the COVID vaccinations, blood drive, flu vaccination, and dental and benefit.
During that time, did you work in, let's say, on weekends? Did you work on any
Yeah,
working?
I was volunteering at a dental office during that time as much as I can, because that was little peak of the pandemic, so there was not lot of hours I could get in, but I was still like in touch with dentistry.
Yeah, then you can show that that's even more commitment. Like you are working 5 days a week, and
Yeah.
you are using your weekend just to volunteer in some dentistry, volunteering in some dental clinic.
Uh-huh.
That's your strongest point, and that you can show that even though I was working full time, 40 hours, 50 hours a week, still
Uh-huh.
dentistry. I found my still it was very hard for me to be detached from dentistry for a longer period. So that's
Uh-huh.
why I was whatever time I get on weekends, I used to
Mhm.
spend some time in this clinic as a volunteering or for the as an assistant or whatever role you have done. So that's the strongest point you can show. And now you can show that my passion is like I'm so much passionate that I quit my job and now I'm totally working full time. That's, I guess, more than like if I were if I were any like professor interviewing you, then that should be I would definitely like give you an acceptance right away. Like that's more
Thank
than a
you.
commitment, because working full time 5 days a week and plus doing dentistry on weekend is such an amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, that means a lot.
it's just that you have to show it strategically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And doctor, another question. So, uh, like we have from our I'm from India, so as a part of BDS, we do that 1 year of compulsory rotatory ship internship that we do, and then as a part of MPH also we do our capstone research project. So I have heard like mixed views. People who are in the dental program right now, I'm not sure where should we mention it on the CV. I mean, should we mention those internship and those projects that we have done as a part of our course under the coursework, or can we count it as a separate experience?
Okay, so dental internship, I showed it in my CV as a my designation was dental intern.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And for then 1 year length and all the clinical procedures that I did. And same
Mm-hmm.
thing for my capstone project too. So during my for us it is called ILE, but I know it's like similar to capstone,
Mm-hmm.
MPH thesis basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So that Drexel Autism Institute, and that project was also related to oral health. It is related to autism and oral health.
Okay.
So that I mentioned separately that I worked as a research assistant for this organization, and this was my project details. So
Okay.
you can show them, yeah. Even
Okay.
though it was a part of your degree requirement, but you
Mm-hmm.
worked it, so you should show it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you
And
for
what
your
was
time.
your capstone project about? It was about
Um,
dentistry, or
so it was about tobacco cessation and use of e-cigarettes and its
yeah,
effect
yeah.
on oral health. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Then yeah, you can
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ampika. I think a lot of masters relation here in this group of participants. A lot of you all have done masters, so I think that's nice that you all can directly clear your doubts with Parth. Let's go with Dr. Jenny. Jenny, not sure if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, it's Jenny. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Parth, for valuable information you're sharing. My question is about what made your profile really stand out, that you got these many interviews, apart from the very excellent DA hours in the US. I'm in Canada at the moment, so I don't have any US experience, but I have a vast experience from back home, India.
So for me, I feel that as you mentioned, my number of US dental experience plus all my I had two research related experience, and both of them were related to dentistry. One was Penn Dental and another was AJ Drexel Autism Institute. It was like about autism and oral health. So these days in US specifically, they put more stress on providing dental care to disabled person or to the person with special needs. So, and my that project, autism and oral health, that was related to that. So I guess these two research experience really helped me in getting this many invites. And plus, of course, your quality of your letter of recommendations and your personal statement, that also matters a lot. Plus, I would say your TOEFL score matters a lot. I had 108 in my TOEFL, so that was also a good, I would say, a competitive score. So altogether, everything like helped me.
That's really awesome. Did you had a chance to craft your own LOR, or the faculties back home written for you?
So for our Dean's LOR, we did not have any like any right to. I couldn't make any changes to our Dean LOR. It is just a common format that she uses for all the students. So that I couldn't adjust. But the one another faculty that I sat down with him on a Zoom call and we made a lot of changes. And my US LOR was also similar like that. So those two LORs I was able to adjust a little bit. Yeah.
I see, I see. And one last question. During the interview, do they ask specifically about the research you have conducted? So, do they ask in detail about those research if you have done, even
Yeah.
if it's not in US or in back home country? I have more experience in India other than doing it in Canada. So,
Yeah, they definitely ask, and it also depends on your research project. Like if it is something that's not being done frequently in North America, then they would ask you more about like certain things. Specifically, if you have done in India, then they'll be out of not just to like cross check you, but out of curiosity, they will ask you a lot of questions regarding your research related experience if it is back in India. Because for other like apart from US, even those professors also know that authorship can be bought in many papers. So for
yes.
those cases, they will ask you many interrogative questions too.
So, does it has to be from PubMed, or any research would be accountable?
Any research. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Just to add on to what Parth said, I think it was a very important point that he said that sometimes they ask you questions just out of curiosity and not as an interrogation. What comes to my mind is once in Rutgers, one of our people that we were coaching interviewed, and she had prosthodontics experience. And the interviewer also was a prosthodontist herself, and that connect just completely pivoted the interview. That the entire interview was about that particular specialty, even though it was for EDSDM. So it was not because they were expecting you to know something because you're going for residency, but just out of a common connect with the interviewer. In conversation-based interviews, you can always be asked about these things. So it's always the goal there is for them to know that you're aware of your profile and you've not lied on the profile. So
Yeah.
if you know what you've done, then you speak about it. So be ready for that while you speak in your interview. I had lowered Dr. Sagarika's hands earlier, but sorry,
So,
Dr. Jelly.
sorry, last question I forgot to ask. Do you really advise applying both ways through PASS and CAPID
Oh, for pass and CAAPID. Yeah.
in one cycle?
So if you have any residency back home, then at interview, I know many colleagues who are asked the same question that you are, let's say, for example, so you are here, why you are not applying for pass program? Our university, this university has pass program too. So why you are not applying to that residency instead? Why you are applying for DMB program? So be ready with your answers if you are doing that.
So one can apply to both, right? I mean, if
Yeah, I know many candidates who have applied to CAPID and passed both.
okay, thank you.
Just make sure that you know what you're signing up for, because it can be that's the only thing I would say. It's a lot. One application itself is a lot to process, meaning CAPID alone. So just make sure that you're capable and adept both to do pass as well as CAPID, because the timings could overlap at some point and it might be too much. So you have to be prepared to write multiple personal statements, pair yourself for multiple kinds of questions, interviews. So that's the trick there. But yes,
And
you
if
buy
the
on paper you can.
yeah, and if the school is same, like let's say Penn Dental or like because I know a person in Alabama, so she applied to their DMD program, like IDP program, and their
Mhm.
residency. And they knew at that time when they were interviewing that this person has applied to both the programs. So they asked for justification.
Oh,
So
I'm very curious to know what you said.
oh, even I didn't ask because I was not that close with that person, so I didn't ask them. But luckily, that person was accepted in their pediatric residency. So
It's nice. So they
get some
showed,
nice justification.
yeah, might have given something very
Yeah,
passionate or inherent.
yeah.
Okay, that's nice. All right, Dr. Sagarika or Sagarika. I'm sorry if I'm
Yeah,
pronouncing your names wrong.
no, yeah, no problem. It's Sagrika.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Parth. Thank you so much for doing this at 10 in the night. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. So I had a
Mhm.
couple of questions. So um, I've attended like a few oral health workshops, like oral health coalition sort of a thing where I haven't presented, nor have I done any poster presentation. So how do I mention that on my CV?
Oh, that if you have not presented anything, then I guess you can put it in continuing education or something. Did you receive any credits or any CD credits or any certification for attending that?
No, I didn't. I just received,
Just visited, right?
yeah, just visited and kind of like whoever presented sort of like got some info about what they presented basically.
If you haven't received any credits or something, then I would say somehow mentioning it in your personal statement is the only option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but maybe if like Clean has some nice creative strategies about that, then she can share.
Yeah, I think you hit the right spot. The personal statement is a good place to say it because then, just in the flow of storytelling, you can tell them that you do have this practice of attending conferences and presenting papers. But also, in terms of your CV, I would say you have to do a little bit of analyzing. If you have already have a CV like Dr. Parth's, which is what 4 pages, running beyond that, then completely you can just avoid this portion because if you were to compare this and that, then this would have lesser value. But if that's not the case, if you have a smaller CV, if you're still building your profile in the US, you've just been there for a year or so, you can just give a heading that says poster presentations and then just write that down. It doesn't have to mean that you presented there necessarily. If you did present, then as a presenter, like role can be presenter, and then the ones where you presented, and then role attendee or participant, and the ones that you participated. Let's say you have a 4 page CV, but you also went to this really famous conference or a poster presentation where someone really well known came and spoke, or was a very like sensitive or good topic, and you want the school to know, just add that one liner. It's okay. So with CV, you can be as creative as you want, or basically use that to show what you want them to see. So you can use it. But on the application portal, there's no place to put it. Where you would put it is in additional comments or those 2 blanks that you have. Use that space prudently to tell them what more information you have. This could be one of them. So that's how you can possibly write that. And
So so like I have like 2-3 poster presentations and like a presentation as well. So I can either put it under that or can probably just mention it in my statement.
did you present the posters that day, or you just went to attend the?
That I didn't. I have like 2-3 other things that I've done. But
Okay.
that day I didn't. Like the one that I just asked about, that I didn't.
If you
Okay.
if you've presented, then definitely show it.
It goes in poster presentation, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But
Got
if
it.
you haven't, then don't necessarily.
Okay, got it. Okay. And I have another question. So I'm currently working as a dental public health fellow with a local health department, and I've contributed for their oral health web page. For example, I've written like content for their oral health web page. So I wasn't sure where to add that in my CV, or like where should I add that?
In your experience section, start with a nice action verb that did or led the team that was writing the dental related law on the website. You can just start with a nice action verb, and you can mention it in your like description section of your experience, like whatever your designation is and your description.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
It depends on how you have fashioned your CV, Sagarika. If you're going with, like, because different people have different headings. Some put it in terms of geographical location, some write dental, non-dental, some write employment, volunteering. So just find out how you are dividing your experiences, and then based on that. In terms of application, it could be, are you working? Or was this paid work?
Yeah, so this is my job. So this is like a New York State fellowship program, and I'm working with the health department. And I happen to get this dental project, which I'm really happy about. So my role is kind of dental public health graduate fellow. So like I'm just helping them with like a survey. We are conducting a survey, and also have written like content for their oral health webpage.
I think since it's dental public health, it could easily go in dental experience itself on your application.
Yeah.
Then that's solved. Okay.
Yeah.
And then in your role, go ahead, Parth.
Yeah, also in CV, as Flynn mentioned, that it is very important to have it everything organized and easy to follow. So if you are starting first, definitely start with your US or Canadian experience, US dental related experience, then US research experience, and then start with your home country experience.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. If you have more than one research related experience, then make the entire section separately, that US based research experience and then Indian research experience.
That's right. That's right. You have to go through the CV very dynamically, as in how it fits you and your profile. At least for schools that don't need a format, like UP and UNLV has a format, so follow that. Otherwise, just go with the flow. Okay. We are a little over time. So right now we have 4 hands raised and a few questions on the chat box. So I think we'll take those and then wrap up for today. After which you can always reach out to us and we can connect you to Dr. Parth as how he deems comfortable. Okay, so let's fast track this a little bit, guys. I move on to Dr. Vishwasha. You can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, congratulations, Dr. Parth, for getting into UPenn. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so basically I am like a proper fresh graduate. I graduated in around November 2022, and just moved to the US after 2 months straight. So, and just a bit settled here and gave my INBDs and TOEFL. Like I took like 4 months, around 4 to 5 months for that. And then I started volunteering as a dental assistant. So up till now, I have like around 4 to 5 months of dental assisting experience. So any tips that what should I do more, because I have no experience, basically just a dental assistant experience, and that's it. And all other things is from like college days and home country experience. That's it.
Okay. So it depends on like there are so many things that you can do. I'm not sure about your visa status. So
I am a citizen. I was born here, so that's why I'm moved here.
Then you can do a lot of things. You can if you have any research related experience back home, then you can apply for basic research assistant related jobs. My school, Penn Dental, they have their workday portal, and even Penn, they post paid research assistant related jobs. So you can definitely apply, and I'm sure there will be many universities. They will. You can just go out to their employee section and section and look out for other jobs. And and since you are a citizen here, so you do not have any cap that you can work
Barrier, yeah.
20 hours a week. So you can show like 50-60 hours of dental work related dental experience. So you said you are working since last 4 to 5 months, right?
5 months, yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure if you are applying in March, you should be at least able to show more than 1,000 hours of
Yes,
US,
yes, yes.
US
Yeah, yeah,
experience.
yeah.
But yeah, and as I said, like just just blindly email all the
Yeah.
professors from all the universities around the US. And I would say if you email almost like 200 professors, then there are 1% chances that you would at least hear from at least hear back from 2 to 3 professors. So just
Okay, yeah.
format and email everybody with your CV. You
Hmm.
can do volunteering too in the US.
Yeah, community volunteering I am doing here and there, like every week,
Okay, in
like
which state
food
you are in
banks
right
and
now?
those things.
Which state you are in right now?
I am Georgia, in Georgia,
Georgia.
Atlanta.
Okay, yeah. Even Georgia will have many opportunities. It has like CDC nearby, so you can just look up for CDC oral health related
Yeah.
thing on their website and try to figure out if they have any internship or fellowship going on.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And one thing I've noticed that fresh applicants, they are also taking ADET. So if you wanna take an ADET, you can do
Okay.
that to improve your profile. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we can go with Dr. Manasa. Manasa Venus.
Yes, hello. Hi, Dr. Parth. Thank you so much for doing this again. So my question is, I'm also a fresh grad that I've just given my INBD exam, and my current visa status is I'm a visitor in the US on B1, B2. I've heard that we need to do like few continuing education courses to apply to few universities. Like some do require 20 hours of CE courses or some credits. So currently with my visa status, do you think like if can we go and do some observership programs or some volunteer programs in the universities?
So it depends on your interest. Like if you genuinely want to learn something by being in the clinical environment in the US, you can attend those preceptorship programs. Otherwise, just for your CD points, there are a couple of websites that provides free online CE courses, so that you can attend and gather even more than 20 credits. Like Colgate is one of those websites that I know. Then there is one called, I guess, Dental Crest or something.
Okay.
So that you can check the website and like there are only like online CE courses and they will give you credits so that you can gather.
So these are the ones that we need to do instead of like universities that offer CE courses, the hands-on or online.
Hands-on
Yeah.
versus that would even that if you can do that, that's even more, that would be even more beneficial than attending those online CE courses.
Okay, but yeah, I was just wondering if my with the visitor visa status, is it possible, or are the online webinars the only best option right now?
Oh, so for that, like let's say if you are interested in attending program for X university, so you would have to email them if they have any like if you have any legal obligations regarding your visa or anything, then you should definitely email them.
Okay, so it varies from university to university is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Manasa, you mentioned that you heard that certain schools mandatorily require CE hours. Which school is that? Because I don't think there's any school that mandates CE credits or hours. Which school is that? Boston.
It is one, Indianapolis.
Indiana, yeah. I've read in their
Yeah.
website that they do require 20 hours of CE education.
20 hours of CE education, is it?
Yeah, but anything would be fine. Any online CE courses would be fine for that.
Okay.
Okay. So if it's online,
They
then
don't
visa
require.
doesn't matter, right? Anywhere is okay.
Yeah, visa doesn't matter.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Dr. Mariam. Hi, Mariam. You're back. You can unmute and ask Dr. Parth your question.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me? So first of all, congratulations, Dr. Parth, on getting in.
Thank you.
I do have only one simple question. When I want to add my CE courses to my CV, under what title do I add them? Do I add them under like experience or education? How can I add them in my CV?
Okay, so your CE courses, you can make a separate section or heading as a continuing dental education courses, and then you can list all of them, and you can mention something in your experience section as well if the like course is very long, like 7 days or at least one like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something, so that you can add in your experience section. Otherwise, if they are like 2 or 3 or 4 hours courses, then you can add in that different section that you are going to create.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. And now remembering, I also have one more question. When I was graduating, I had a thesis to present. Can I also add it in the education or also in a different section?
Your thesis would not go in your education, but it would go in your research related experience, research experience.
Oh, okay. But is it okay that it's going to be the only one because I do not have any other research experience?
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
totally fine.
And it's okay that it wasn't published? It was just a thesis.
Yeah, as we discussed, I guess somebody
Yeah,
asked,
we did. I just
but,
wanted
yeah.
to. Okay, sure. Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
And finally, we have Dr. Malvika. Malvika, your audio is muted, so we can't hear you.
Hi, Parth.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Parth. Congratulations for getting into UPenn. I don't know whether you remember or not, but I was in the same academic year of yours. You were in AMC and I was in Goenka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Parth, I'm a bit confused at this moment. I have cleared INBD, but I don't have any visa status. So now what do you suggest? Should I take MPH and come there? I'm applying there in the MPH schools, or should I go for preceptorship, or what should I do?
So you are saying you do not have any US visa right now?
I don't have any visa status currently.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in India right now.
Okay, so that's it totally depends on your for any another master's program, it depends on your finances, but like just to get into the details, I would say MPH is not necessary. I have seen many candidates with visitor visa and still getting accepted to dental school, but I guess you are in the same spot as me, because I honestly did not want to pursue MPH, but that was a COVID time and all the visitor visa windows are closed. So I was like, I do not want to waste my time here, and I just took that MPH route. But if I had a visitor visa, then I guess I wouldn't have taken this MPH course, and I would have taken some different route.
Okay. And are we allowed to switch courses there? Supposingly, if I enter the States this year through MPH and simultaneously I apply in this CAAPID cycle also, are we allowed to switch courses in the first year, or we have to just finish MPH first and then we have to, take admission in?
What I have learned from my experiences so far is that if you are matriculated in one program and that program ends, like that program is not ending before your dental program should start, like before your dental program, then there are very less chances that they will give you any acceptances, because like let's say you are you are doing MPH from X university and you are willing to go to another university if you get accepted into DMD, then how the school would trust you? Like let's say if now they accept you for DMD program and you get into some residency, then how would they trust that you would not leave them in from that like in between and you just go to another program? I would not say that it's impossible, but it's very risky if you are matriculated in one program and applying for another program. If that program ends before your dental school starts, then you should be fine.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the help.
Awesome. Guys, I'm just gonna I think, draw a line now because you're over time and it's super late, I think, for some of you. But I think this is a very engaging session. And somehow, especially with a lot of master's graduates, I think you could, one-on-one find out the nuances of how to bring that into the application. Parth, thank you so much. You've been more than patient and kind. Before we wrap up, do you have anything like last 2 cents to give them as we wrap up?
I would just say become more strategic in your application. I'm not saying that you should not lie, but if you lie, then make sure that you are putting it in a more strategic way. And yeah, that's it. Keep working hard, and just do not compare yourself with others. And that's it. Yeah.
On that note, I just want to say, anyone who's here, who's just beginning, right, your application, and who's just trying to figure out the way here, don't worry about it, because you know that, I mean, Parth has done quite a bit in his profile. That's because he took the time to do it. And he even did an MPH, and then now he's here. So if you're at point 0, then you're not in a bad place. You're in a great place. Just get inspired by this and understand what is, good for you. And 3,000 hours, 1,600 hours, 1,000 hours are where you will reach eventually. So just the lesson to be learned here and the takeaway is start today. At least your community service and your clinical experience, even if it's shadowing or dental assistantship, let that be your constants in profile building. Apart from that, every 2 or 3 months, plan for something. Like let it be A and B, your constants, and then plan for a variable every 2 or 3 months, which could be a conference, it could be a research internship, it could be a fellowship, depending on your financial circumstances and also your other personal circumstances. So that's more important. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. We will, if you have any more questions, you can reach out to us and we will get that answered. Before we leave, we'd like to take a picture of the screen, if that's okay. So there's anyone who's willing to turn the camera on, then that'll be amazing. This will be the time. And yes, thank you guys. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Have a great night and day for the others. And we'll meet soon. We'll come up with more current students and we'll talk soon.
Yeah. I would like to share my email address too if anyone wants to reach out.
Amazing.
I guess, and type it in the chat section.
Yes, that's great. Before you drop out, please check the chat space because that could be helpful.
All right. Good night for all those who are in the US, and have a good day for all those who are in India or anywhere else.
Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.
All right. Good night. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Mario.
Good night.
Thank you.